7 p.m. on January 14th. 6 p.m. 6 p.m. to correct it. 6 p.m. on January 14th, 2025, our first 6 p.m. meeting. We're gonna open the regular board meeting. Do roll call, please.
I have trustees Chris Samples.
Here.
John Talbot.
Here.
Jen Christensen.
Here.
Bill Motisi.
Here.
Nathan Maz.
Yes.
Patrick Yarlow. President Rick Worm.
Here.
Treasurer Brenda. Here. I clerk Sandy Moss here. Public Works Supervisor Brett Fergie.
Here.
Parks Lead Brody Cook.
Here.
And Attorney Mark Hindley.
Long time.
All right, would you please rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance?
Also. Pledge allegiance to the flag, the United States of America, and to the republic which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice. She does not.
Moving on. On the consent agenda tonight, we have 4 items. First one is December 10th, 2024, regular board minutes. Item 2 is bills payable dated January 14th, 2025, for a total of $28,310.60. Item 3 is outside meeting pay for elected officials, total of $400. And item 4 is resolution number 25-02, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of 2025 outdoor warning siren system annual maintenance contract with Fulton Siren Services in the amount of $854.90. This time, do any of the board members wish to remove any of those 4 items for further consideration? Not, we will entertain the first motion.
I want to place agenda items. Or just kept consent agenda items. There that all items be considered together as agenda.
Second.
John makes a motion to place items 1 through 4 inclusively as a consent agenda. Nathan seconds. Roll call, please.
Jen.
Yeah.
Bill.
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Nathan.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Motion passes at 6:03. Really weird to say. Second motion.
I move to adopt items 1 through 4 inclusively on the consent agenda in a single group pursuant to the omnibus vote procedure specified in the Illinois Municipal Code.
Second.
John makes a motion to adopt items 1 through 4 inclusively as a consent agenda. Nathan again seconds. Roll call, please.
Bill.
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Nathan.
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Chris.
Yes.
Jen.
Yes.
Motion also passes at 6:03. We don't need item D on the agenda, as nothing was removed. Utility bills. Mark, we do not have Charles tonight.
No.
I don't know the time.
He does. He doesn't
Oh, that's
know
right,
how many he'll be
conflict.
able to make.
Conflict.
Yeah.
Pick a winner.
All right.
Drinks only.
We have 106 East Chicago Avenue.
We ever had a winner on East Chicago?
I think so.
We did not. And we still do not have anybody willing to step up to the chairperson's role. Go move on to Sandy.
I don't have anything.
Brenda in the cheap seats.
Oh, all I know is the treasurer's report and the December's treasurer's report. If you have any questions, let me know.
Mark,
I don't have a report. I'll reserve remarks when we're talking about the ordinances that we've got coming up.
go on committees. Jen?
All I have is that we met prior to this meeting for our birthday celebration coming up June 14th.
That one's one.
And we are actually getting our details down and talk about like, you know, being able to get volunteers and help to make this work. And we're hoping that everybody will be able to show up and lend a helping hand. Along with our employees.
To make that clear,
Yes.
we're looking for volunteers from every single person in this room.
No,
If
is that 150 years?
we appreciate all the help, because it then leads to a better balanced budget going forward, and we're not spending money to hire people to come.
I'll be there.
FYI.
And
Thank you.
the only other thing I have that's not in there, I have set the Easter egg hunt for April 12th. That's it.
Really, already?
Yeah, catch up to you. All right, Chris?
You want me to, sorry, Mark, you want me to make the motion and then you want to explain whatever it is? Oh, sorry, we don't have any. Hold on. Hey, we don't have any emergencies, as far as I know.
Yeah, we do.
No, I mean, whatever comments you stated you wanted to make.
Took the.
Okay, I make a motion to approve ordinance number 25-3, an ordinance amending purchasing ordinance to delegate and limit elected official purchasing authority prior to board approval.
Second.
Chris makes a motion to approve ordinance number 25-03. Jen seconds. Mark?
Yeah, so I don't know if the provision was formally in your handbook or what, but you had you formally had authorized expenditures of up to $2,500. This expands that to $3,500, but in the process of writing it, I noted that your code actually prevented anyone from spending anything outside of a bona fide emergency situation without board pre-approval. This delegates authority to make small scale purchases up to $3,500 without prior board approval, provided that there are funds in place allocated to whatever the line item is. This, the amounts vary, but this is a pretty common provision in most communities, so that just the day-to-day business of the government body can get done without everybody having to wait 2 weeks for approval of, sort of minuscule purchases. And I'll concede that $3,400 purchases is a small amount. Right. So if it needs tweaking down the road, or you find that it's being abused, that can be addressed at that time. Certainly anything that's expended would then be brought to the board meeting for a report after the fact, so people know how money is being spent. As written, this would apply to elected officials, and I believe I said department heads.
You did. I also had to attach another resolution behind this because it is in our employee handbook too, under spending authority. So there's a second one.
This resolution, you're appreciate, thank you.
Ordinance?
Sorry, the ordinance. Yeah, we just wanted to eliminate any conflicts, so people aren't looking at 2 different documents and finding getting into trouble because they followed one, but ran afoul of the ordinance, and now sounds like they line up.
Perfect.
Is the 3,500 threshold, is that common dollar amount for most municipalities, or is it a wide variety of amounts for other municipalities? Are we kind of hitting the average? I don't know.
It runs, no, it's, it totally runs the gamut. What a lot of places will do is they'll have a series of tiers where, I know your situation is a little different because there aren't a lot of employees around here, but you might have just run-of-the-mill office employees have authority to spend up to $500, and all they have to do is get a verbal okay from department head. And then if it gets beyond that threshold to another threshold, then you've got to go to the department head. Sometimes if it gets beyond a certain number, the department head has to go to the finance director and get something pre-approved if there's money in place. So it's just kind of whatever works for the body. It sounds like something had prompted the desire to go from 2,500 to 3,500. So that, the number didn't come from me, just the idea that there was a board pre-approval, or that it could be done without the board pre-authorizing.
That came from us.
Sorry, it came from me.
Okay.
Oh, you weren't at the last.
I wasn't, that's why I
Yeah.
didn't us.
The discussion, and the remainder of your board members agreed that 3,500 sounded like it needed to increase due to inflation and other things.
Just clarify
Fair
that.
enough. I just didn't know what was sparking you to 25.
Over the ordinance. Yeah,
So.
it's pretty strict. It's actually.
I just need to know.
No, it's a good information.
Yeah, it was that
I think it was an inflationary increase to reflect the fact that 2,500 has been out there for 10 years, and probably inflation has caught up with it. The president noted accurately that this is a self-imposed restriction. The only thing that the state controls is that if you're spending more than $25,000 on many things, you have to get bids and whatnot. This Certainly that remains the case here. It doesn't really implicate this level of spending.
We just limit ourselves,
Yeah, better.
which I love.
It's too much trouble, but also to push through things that are emergencies so.
Well, in emergencies, we set that limit higher, like,
25,000.
was it 25?
Yes, that's on.
That's a precedent for.
No, so the emergency expenditure process goes through the supervisor, the finance, or the treasurer, and then either Chris or Rick.
Chris recommends.
And then it still has to come from board.
Push through as a yes.
And you have criteria as to what that means. It's basically to preserve, life, health and safety and the
Correct.
basic functions of the village, but
So, water pipes first.
Yeah.
I mean, Rick, I thought it might have been way over that.
And cheap.
That-
But if it turned out like the first one, we were gonna be spending money.
yeah, this way capture things that would fall short of an emergency. Let's say Brett's out in the field and there's his vehicle breaks down or some piece of equipment that he doesn't want to wait 2 weeks to get the repair part, but it might be, whatever, that kind of thing, maybe not a true emergency in the truest sense, but something that's a real hassle to have to wait.
And everybody should know that if you, look through the board package, and you see some expense on there that you want to ask about, feel free to ask about it. That you probably should do if you think there's an oddity to it, and somebody, Brenda or Sandy, whoever made the purchase can, say, why they did what they did.
And just also so everyone understands, and Brenda can tell you too, when the dollars start going up for a repair or part or whatever, even, not even $1,000 worth, I'm usually always communicating with Brenda anyway, so she has a heads up, hey, this is gonna cost us a little bit of money, we talk about it. Even if it has to get done, even if it's well below the spending limit, but what I deem as being, that's expensive, Brenda and I are usually almost always having a conversation ahead of time, so it's not like this just, Fergie orders whatever Fergie wants. No, Brenda and I are always talking, always talking.
One other thing I want to get clear in my mind is, so this doesn't, agreements or contracts still have to come through the board, no matter the value.
Yeah, sometimes there's a sort of blurry line to if you hire somebody to make a repair for $3,000, that is a contract of sorts, but in the way that you mean it, yes, in the common parlance, yeah.
All right.
Anything that's gonna obligate the village to some ongoing service, receipt or provision, yeah.
Right, I wouldn't call that a contract per se,
I know yes, right, in the way that you mean, yes, you're so good.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Chris,
Yeah.
Jen. Yeah. Bill.
Good. This is 6:14. Second half.
So now we're gonna follow this up with other resolutions, so make a motion to approve resolution 25-01, a resolution amending the Village of Davis Junction Personal Policy Manual. Changes to section 7.13, spending authority.
Second.
Chris makes a motion to approve resolution number 25-01. Nathan seconds. Any discussion on it?
This
I believe
is
you
just,
said this is the personnel manual version of the same thing.
we have a limitation in the personnel policy for the spending authority for supervisors, so I had to change it there as well. If Mark looks at it later and decides he wants language change, we can continue to do that at a further date, but this just matches the ordinance in terms of dollar amount.
Further discussion? Roll call.
Nathan,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Chris.
Yeah.
Jen.
Yeah.
Bill.
Yes.
John.
Passes 6:15.
So we're gonna discuss the approval of letting for bid.
You need to, so if you,
Go ahead.
so let me pull it up for you.
You think I can see that?
Yeah, so, well, I could make it as big as I can for you, but your motion is right there.
I see it. Think about the levy. The rebuilding downtown in Main Street, Capital Grant. Gateway subdivision infrastructure improvements project. Oh my God.
Second?
Chris makes a motion to approve letting for bid and rebuild downtowns and Main Street Capital Grant Gateway Subdivision Infrastructure Improvements Project. Nathan seconded. Any discussion? This is a mouthful.
Mhm.
So they're ready now?
It's actually published for bid yesterday and the bid opening is on,
I guess we'll put it on.
it is on February 6th.
So that was my other question, because someone put it on the village page about the opening of the
Yeah.
bid, and I saw that Rick had graciously responded to most of those questions on there, but where would someone go and find that bid application? Like, cause I.
I'm Bill Hoffman.
I'm Will Officer.
It's all out there.
They'll sometimes go.
I tried to do a little Google search and I was not finding anything current.
Anybody who is familiar with state bidding will know where.
That's fine. I'm just
Yeah.
my own personal, like, cause I didn't know that we went out to bid already and then
Yeah.
someone posted that and I was like, how does it was just odd that the community member found it so quickly, so.
Because it was in the Ogle County line.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's gotta be
Yeah,
published.
it's gotta be published in the newspaper. So it hit the newspaper yesterday, but those Ogle County lives ended up in people's mailbox on Saturday. So, yeah.
And Willett will bring it to contractors' attention too.
Yes,
And then bid closes when?
its bid opening is on February 6th. So February at 10 a.m. So it'll be February 6th at 9:59 a.m.
That's when they read it, you got it. Or-
9:59. Yeah. Most of them handed it on their way in the door.
Any further discussion? Call on that one.
Nathan,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John.
Yes.
Here's your next
6:18.
one. I don't know if you can read that again.
Yep. Thanks. Make a motion to approve letting for bid, to rebuild downtown and Main Street Capital Grant. Gateway subdivision lot 1 improvement project.
Sorry.
Chris makes a motion to approve letting a bid for the rebuild downtowns and Main Street Capital Grant Gateway Subdivision Lot 1 Improvements Project. John seconds. That's obviously our building.
That bid opening is February 13th and should hit the paper next week.
I actually had a phone call from somebody about that today. You sent them to me.
I did not, Erica must have.
Well, whoever it was said the clerk sent them.
Yeah,
Told me to
it
call
was
you.
not me.
We had a discussion about it. Not hearing any discussion? Roll call.
Nathan,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes.
Chris.
Yeah.
Jen,
Yeah.
Bill,
Yes.
John.
Yes. Yes, it's 6:19. Any further, Chris?
Nope, that's enough. That was done.
No? Nathan?
Make a motion for approval of ordinance number 25-202, an ordinance establishing fees, charges, fines, penalties, and other regulatory measures, annual fee ordinance.
Second.
Nathan makes a motion to approve ordinance number 25-02. Jen seconds. Discussion on the ordinance.
So we are raising the water 25 and the sewer 25 each. That
No, so that happens automatically. You saw two things in there. You saw the biggest portion of this was the sports fields. And then the small portion of it that I added in there is when we did the rate increase across the board, the out of town sewer, which we currently have none of, that rate did not get changed in accordance with everything else. So I had to change that one to match, but in order to that to make sense, I had to bring the rest of the sewer rates up to today's rate.
all right. So, but it was looking at 7 point. What was?
Yes, it was 5.
Because I didn't know.
Hold up. Now, it already went up. So this is there's no change to the increase here, except for out of town sewer, which we have nobody who use it.
And the numbers, right number didn't match.
Looks like it.
So in order to not, well, it is, so in order to not have two different rates increasing based upon or July of 24, and then the out of town based upon January of 25, I went ahead and made the rate increase there, so it's across the board as of January.
All right, so.
So it was going up a quarter January 1st
So
anyway.
what's our rate for waters?
So right now it is $8.
All right.
That as of January 1st, yeah. Yeah, so that's already.
I know,
putting
we agreed to it here, but that,
You did.
right, okay.
Yeah, no, so as you'll see down here in the red, you agreed that every January 1st, starting 2025, it would increase by 25 cents. I went ahead and just put it in there to make it make sense.
We're hoping that 25-cent increase actually brings us to breaking even.
Yes, but you'll see down here,
Excellent.
yeah, you'll see down here in the out of village, it stayed at $7. And it should not have, it should have increased with everything else. So that was just fixing that to match it. But again, it applies to nobody. We have no out of village super users
Yeah, I mean,
yet.
Well, good thing we changed that.
Required. Any further discussion? That's money. Roll call.
Patrick,
yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill,
No.
John,
Yeah,
Nathan.
yes.
That motion passes 622. Still you.
Hmm,
Meridian Youth Baseball and Softball League. We're starting
it's open.
the open application process. That's what this is on the agenda. Let you guys know that it is open. Enrollment is currently going on and it ends when?
April 4th.
April 4th is the deadline, and we need everything in on April 4th as to ensure your child or the children can play on a team. Anything past that will not be accepted. So it's very important that anyone that is interested in doing this has it in on April 4th by closing day of April 4th, correct?
What time is closing?
Just April 4th.
April 4th. A lot of it can be done online.
Yep.
So therefore it is April 4th. So by
Yep.
11:59
Yep.
PM on April 4th, if you were online, if you were returning something in person, it would be by the close of business day.
4 PM on
So
April
4
4th.
PM this day.
Just one.
No one's going to say no if it's in the mailbox. Like, if it's in like our mailbox and we pick
They
it
could
up.
drop it out
You
in
can,
front.
yeah, you can do that, you can do it after hours, so you can get information to us. If you're unable to make it during business hours.
Yep.
But we need it here by April 4th, by the end of day.
Yep.
Again, April 4th, by the end of the day. All right, moving on. Does that satisfy that? Okay.
Yeah.
Discussion and, I'm sorry, no. Discussion possible approval of compensation increase, for Luke Zitkus upon acquisition of an Illinois food manager's license.
The motion for that is gonna be in here too, cause it's another big-winded one. I have it zoomed in up there if you can read there.
Yeah, I can definitely read that. We do not see the number for the motion.
There isn't a number, it just starts here.
Just a motion
Yep.
to approve. Motion to approve additional compensation for Luke Zitkus
Yes.
of $1 per hour to be added to the next pay period of his then effectively hourly wage for acquisition of Illinois food manager's license upon proof of acquisition of license to human resources manager.
Second.
All right, so Nathan makes a motion to approve additional compensation for Luke Zitkus for $1 per hour to be added to the next pay period of his then effectively hourly wage for acquisition of Illinois food manager's license upon proof of acquisition of license to human resources manager. Bill seconds. In my discussion with Brody, we're just pre-authorizing this so that as when he gets his license, it can just take effect. Similar to what we did with his.
Does he finish the class already or?
No, he's going
February.
February 13th, he will be going off to Rock Valley to take class.
And will his license be the one posted here or is it someone else's license?
I believe it will still be mine, and then it's just the manager, so we have other people rotate through, so that we're not.
Yeah.
Right, so that's what I assume,
few years ago, and we're now required to have a manager on premise at all times. And so right now it's Brody and Noah, and will be Luke, so that we have a rotation of 3 people who can work the evening shift to do.
So we always have a licensed person.
You have to always have a licensed person on premise. Yeah,
Like,
so the more the merrier.
yeah.
Any further discussion? Mine. Roll call.
Chris,
Yep.
Jen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yes.
Nathan,
Yes.
Patrick.
Yes.
Motion passes at 6:26. Floor is still yours, Nathan.
I really don't want to talk about it at this very second.
John?
Right there.
Actually, I just want to mention one thing. I know this might sound a little weird, but this morning's our snow event. I'm assuming most of you have been out traveling today and you noticed how there's a bit more salt down on the streets than there normally is after an event. So everybody's streets, I mean, state highway, you name it. But weird things like this, I always kind of like to explain because I'm very, I keep tabs on our salt. I don't like salt. So but just so everyone understands, this event, with it being so little snow, you can't really plow it because it doesn't work. We were fighting temperature because I don't know if anybody knows this, but road salt actually becomes less effective once you get to about the 12-degree mark. We started out at about 14 degrees this morning when that was the high for the day. So unfortunately, we had to put down more salt than we normally do and hope that the traffic would move it around, because otherwise the salt just burns through the snow and it just sits there and it doesn't do anything because we don't have the temperature. So I know that's a weird thing to talk about, but I take salting very seriously and I don't like white streets. But unfortunately, this type of event, sometimes it is required to use a little extra salt to take care of it, especially when temperatures are dropping to single digits. The salt basically becomes almost useless besides trash.
And then,
So-
then the wind too.
Yeah, so anyway, that kind of stuff bothers me a bit, so I just wanted to explain why you're seeing what you're seeing out there.
I've traveled all the way from DeKalb in through Rockford today. We by far have the least amount of the white dust that is circulating.
Looking like a stage,
So-
looking like a stagecoach.
I would like to commend you for using what needed to and not excessive.
I appreciate that.
I really-
better.
It could be, as I found out, it could be a lot worse, so.
No, this kind of thing bothers me
Yeah.
a lot. I don't like to use any more salt than we have.
I called you the other morning. I told you the state was salting and city of Rockford was salting and Lowe's Park was salting, and I'm like,
Yeah.
am I missing something? Cause why is everybody out salting him? And he's,
I mean, it was.
Not really no sense in it.
We're out there, like, it, yeah, waste that first one.
So I know, strange conversation, but I just want you to understand that we had to do it.
Want to just clarify any questions somebody may have?
Yeah, so thank you. That's all I got.
That's it for this evening.
all right. Mr. Trick.
Motion to approve ordinance number 25-01, an ordinance amending chapter 44, article 2, water of the village of Davis Junction municipal code, section 44-56, service pipes and connections.
Second.
Patrick makes a motion to approve ordinance number 25-01. Chris seconds. Discussion on that on ordinance.
You know, I read it and I have no idea what it.
I was gonna say the best person to speak would be Sandy.
Okay. So Fergie and I have been looking at this for years, and trying to clarify where the ownership starts of the water line. And every time that we have a conversation with somebody, we find that ours is not very clear. So we stole it from somebody else, but it is clear here that yes, all right here. This line right here, all piping beyond the shut-off buffalo boxes and service boxes is part of the plumbing and must be installed by the plumber employed by and at the cost of the property owner.
So pass the shut off.
So past the shut-off, because the question was, is the shut-off valve ours or theirs?
Well, if it's ours, I can shut it off.
So
If
it
it's not, then.
clarifies that. And then you'll also see our shut-off boxes used to be a separate section, but we're just combining it up here in this section too. All work,
Usually think all I want is water.
that's required by building code. Well, that was the other thing it adds in here. So currently, some of our lines are underneath driveways. As somebody who thinks their own driveway has been dug up the service line across the street from me, I can attest to this. And so this also allows for you to make the determination as to where the service line could go. Setting.
No, no, I can 2 feet.
No, so like my neighbor had a water service line issue and they ended up digging up my driveway. The village covered. 'Cause it was
And just so everyone understands, that is very common in Artist Way.
That they shut off their under the.
Yeah.
When they go across the train, it's where it ties to the main, so if we have to shut it off, we have to dig up on the main side and shut it off to repair.
Oh, and that's our portion of it?
It's past the B box.
You know, it's to be main.
Yeah.
They ran all the infrastructure, then they come back and put the houses in.
And then another thing to remember too is there's a decent amount of homes in Oval Crossing where the shut off B box is literally in the sidewalk.
Yes.
So anytime we dig there, sidewalk.
Great planning.
So we're trying to prevent that.
Darn.
Any further discussion? Let's do roll call anyway.
Jen,
Yeah.
Bill,
Yes.
John,
Yeah.
Nathan,
Yes.
Patrick,
Yes,
Chris.
Yes.
Passed at 6:32.
that's all I have, unless you have anything.
All good, man. Thank you.
All right, anything on unfinished business?
It's still radio silent. We gave them everything. So I don't, yeah, LR still is back to normal again.
That's why they're all on unfinished business. Everything falls into that.
Last time I thought they were still under the, go check out the Julie stuff, but I haven't heard anything back since then. I don't know if
No, nobody
called you,
No.
but yeah, last time it was, he was gonna get in touch with Bertie potentially and then go out and check it, or he was just gonna come out and check. And God, that was months ago, so I haven't heard anything. Yeah, it's gone.
Cause I'm actually gonna probably pull those like, cause I'm not gonna waste them and wind shreds them, so I'm gonna pull those.
I mean, at this point, I need to do some, it need to be called again if we need to do anything, so, yeah, go ahead.
On the policy to allow employees to donate vacation time, Brenda and Margaret, our employment attorney from Ansel Klink and myself have been working on trying to get that taken care of. So it is currently in Margaret's hands to amend the language to something that she thinks is good. And we asked her to prepare the forms that need to go with it as well. So hopefully we'll have that back in the next couple weeks. Have you heard anything else back from her that I didn't know? Okay.
I also have not.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah, I did CC you on that, Mark, so that you kind of knew what was going
I
on.
knew that was percolating, but I don't remember if this something.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything.
Anything further on?
DME, are they new?
They
to
are
the sheet?
new.
Sorry, Bill. Are you okay?
Name tag, it's fine. It's fine, Mark.
It's just the name.
All right, anything public?
Yes, about D&E. Yeah, he has about D&E.
Where's the? Yeah, what are those and? Were they talked about in the month I was gone, or can I talk about these, or like?
So they were items on my plate that I've handed to a trustee to handle. So the Junction Road tile agreement, Ansel Link drafted an agreement. This is when we did that bridge work up there, that farmer's tile is in our right of way.
Yeah.
And so Patrick is going to be working to nope, John. I had to think about who I had that one.
Streets.
John's on that one. So John is working to contact the farmer and get that agreement approved by the farmer so that you guys can approve it here at the board and get it signed and get that taken care of.
Okay,
And then the easement agreement with 1100 Illinois Street, I've handed off to Patrick, and that one is, we use the home at 1100 Illinois spigot to do state testing. And so, we would like an agreement with them that in exchange for access to the spigot, we will maintain the spigot, because our use of it is, how often do we test there? Once a month?
That's monthly.
Yeah, so once a month, we're using their spigot, and even during the winter months, on their house, their outside faucet, and they do now. Yes.
right.
So this is a similar situation in exchange for them allowing us to grant to the easement.
If it starts leaking,
That we
we'll fix it.
will, that will maintain the spigot, especially since we're using. And we're using it during winter months when it's not necessarily recommended to use
Or
outside.
most people have that turned off
Yes.
or whatever.
Yeah, so we want to be responsible for that. So I had asked Patrick, the agreements have all been drafted, the language is all there, so he's now going to work on following up with me to get that agreement signed and get it back to him.
This is the
Yeah.
it's the first time I've seen.
When you said who are D&D, I thought you were asking who the company was, not the line item.
Yeah, no.
Who the hell's D&E? As it should be.
It says,
All right, public. Brenda, you're the only one out there. Do you want to be public tonight? No? All right, we'll avoid public since they're not here. Anybody's welcome. 6 o'clock, Tuesdays. Anything further from board members?
second.
John makes a motion to adjourn. Nathan seconds. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? We're adjourned at 6:36.